I was sleeping. First of all, for anybody who's joining us brand new, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and know that we got to be crap for like 5 minutes. This is for the algorithm. This is so they don't punish us because we talk about some serious stuff on this channel. So give me 5 minutes and we're going to jump into this show. But for the first 5 minutes, I got to tell you guys how my morning went. Number one, I was fast asleep, ladies and gentlemen. I was knocked out. I got home at like 3:30 this morning from last night. I was working a night shift. Went to sleep. Normally, my body will get me up at 8:30, 9 o'clock with no alarm. I get a call from Aki at like 10:50, like, are you sleeping? I was like, yeah, I'm sleeping. And she was like, oh, hell no. She's like, dude, we got a live schedule. I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. So I got up, brushed my teeth, ate some breakfast, got my Celsius to wake me up, and then I check my feed and see what's going on, and what do I see? Wow, it's Grizzly True Crime's birthday today. And not only is this her birthday, but she's also celebrating 400,000 subs. So big shout out to Grizzly. Happy birthday and congratulations. Happy birthday! That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes. Hashtag YouTube goals. We want to be like you, Grizzly. 400,000 subs, man. Big shout out once again to the queen of true crime. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a whirlwind night. It was a very busy night. But now we're here to talk about something very serious, guys. And I got to tell you, big shout out to Plunder, man. Big shout out to Plunder. We're going to be using Plunder's video. Plunder, I love Plunder. I'm going to tell you why I like Plunder. Because Plunder doesn't gatekeep. She doesn't gatekeep. She gets this information and she puts it out in various forms where people like me, the brokies, the new kids on the block, right? The rookies. I ain't a rookie at my job, but I'm a rookie here, right? I'm an experienced detective, but on YouTube, I'm still wet behind the ears, as they say. I'm a rookie, right? They don't she doesn't gatekeep, okay? So Plunder got this new unredacted, a very minimally redacted Jen Soto interview. And I got to tell you guys, we're going to be going through this. We're probably going to have to do either 2 or 3 parts because it's almost 2.5 hours long. Let me not exaggerate. 2 hours long, okay? So we're going to have to break it up at least into 2 parts, especially when we're going to be adding our commentary. That's another thing. If you here right now with me, True Crime and Strategic, a.k.a. Strategic Eyes, you should know we will be stopping this quite often to add our commentary. That's why you're here. If you don't want to hear my commentary, as I was about to say, this is the information you need to hear. Plunder has it on her channel where for the first 30 minutes, and I watched that first 30 minutes, she will give you her commentary, do an excellent job breaking down the differences between the original video audio that we received and this new unredacted version. And it's night and day, ladies and gentlemen. We reviewed this before, but what we're about to review is nothing like what we reviewed before because everything she said that was interesting, they redacted it before. We had to use our imaginations. We didn't always get it right, what she said. And now when you hear these words come out her mouth, it's going to break your heart, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you want to listen to this without Plunder's commentary, my commentary, anybody's commentary, you just want the raw audio as it was recorded by these detectives. And another thing that Plunder did is she removed a lot of the large gaps of silence. That's why we're going to be using the video that she posted with her commentary, but we're going to skip her commentary because I want you to go watch that on your own. We're going to start where she just drops the interview. But if you want to listen to it with the long pauses, the breathing, the sighing, the fake crying, and all this great stuff that's in there, and you got 3 hours to blow, go on Plunder's Patreon, and you can go ahead and subscribe to her Patreon, and you get access to that, right? So if you hear, we don't want to hear no complaining. If we see somebody complaining, oh, Strategic is adding too much commentary and making it transformative, the moderators will moderate because you are in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I have sent you where you need to go to get exactly what you're looking for. Guys, where's my time at? How am I looking on time? Ooh, 5 minutes, right? Wow, that commentary lasted 5 minutes. Great. Exactly keeping with our time. So we're going to be here for a little while. I'm not sure if we're going to have time to do a call-in show, but we'll see if we have time at the end. But know that this is going to be a part 1. Definitely a part 2 and quite possibly a part 3 because there's a lot to cover here ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go to the comment section and say what up to my people. Big shout out to Heather Petty, who's now a patrol member. Thank you so much, Heather, for joining us and becoming a patrol member. Let me see if there's anybody else who showed us some love and support. Diane Mayer is also a patrol level. We appreciate you. Jez Y is now a recruit member. He donated $5 with a super sticker. And we do appreciate everybody who supports the channel. You guys are amazing. You guys keep us afloat and keep us here. Now, as promised, without further ado, let's get started. Oh, hold on here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have to say this for YouTube. This is not for entertainment purposes. This is for educational purposes. This is an active criminal investigation that's being adjudicated in the state of Florida, in the county of Osceola County. I am an active duty law enforcement officer. I'm a detective that specializes in sex crimes investigations. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and social work. I have almost 20 years of experience doing sex crimes investigations, doing police patrol, working as a correction officer, working as a corrections sex crimes investigator, working on state government and local government. That's my pedigree. I'm not saying it for you guys. You guys know I'm saying this for the YouTube moderators, that we're not doing this in any way to disrespect anybody involved. We're giving our personal experience that is informed by our professional experience. And lastly, all views, statements, ideas, theories, everything that comes out of my mouth is my own opinion and does not represent the opinion of anybody else, any entity, government organization, or other. It's just me utilizing the First Amendment, telling you my opinion. Let's get started.
Reference Orange County case 24-01313. Today is
That sounds terrible.
February 28, 2024. Times person by 1549 hours. Detective Acosta, located at Central Operations, conducting an interview with Jennifer Soto. And President is Detective Calise.
I hope Detective Calise isn't doing a lot of the talking because he sounds horrible. We can barely understand him. Let's keep going.
Are we going to the budget eventually?
Most likely.
Okay, that hasn't started yet?
I'd have to check. I do not know. I've been out here. Doing okay? Doing all right? No, I know it's not. So it's had to, well, let's go see where he's at. Yeah, he should be ready. I just gotta. I need to test that connection. Which one? The USB connection. Over here.
Guys, this is my first time watching this part. I watched Plunder's first 30 minutes when she gave her commentary, but I didn't actually listen to the interview yet. So I don't know where to fast forward to because there's a lot of walking and a lot of noise. So, I mean, let's see. Maybe we could just hit something.
Okay. And then Dad lives in Texas, I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Nah, we got to go back.
You're Jennifer, correct? Your mom? Okay. And then Dad lives in Texas, I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay. How long have you and Steven been together?
Stefan and I have been
I'm sorry,
together.
Stefan.
It's okay. On and off for about 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys still currently live together?
No. He recently moved back down in December.
Now, remember, Stephen Stern said, yes, they still live together. He just splits his time, but they still live together. Now, she's saying no. Also, he said, yeah, a couple of years, and she said 7 years. We remember we said that in the beginning. We were like, they were together 7 years. And that's why I believe that the malfeasance occurred at 6, not 8. 8 is when you see recordings of it. And I told you guys that when you break down these guys' psychology, I've been doing this for a long time. They don't just start recording or start doing, like, it's a gradual progression. All right. They get their victims indoctrinated and groomed into normalizing these things. You're not just going to pull a camera out on somebody at any age. You have to get them accustomed to it. So like I said, this stuff didn't start happening at 8. It started happening at 6 when he first got contact. And another thing I said is that these guys can't help themselves. The moment they have unfettered access to their V. Remember, we got to talk funny because of YouTube. The moment we have unfettered access to their V, they can't help themselves. They got to jump right in. So at 6, that's when he got unfettered access. And I guarantee you, the abuse and the grooming started then. Everybody said 7 in his life, in his sphere, but him. In his sphere, rather. He's trying to minimize as long as he's been in this V's life. Unbelievable. Let's keep going.
To Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down there until we can financially afford to bring him back home.
Gotcha.
We are waiting for, he used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did he do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay. What was the job that his dad was trying to get him, do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that, like an apprenticeship kind of thing.
Okay.
That fell through. So we were waiting, we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again.
Okay.
From when you resigned.
Right.
So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay. So how often does he stay at the apartment with?
Does that sound like somebody who broke up with somebody and no longer wants to be with them because they don't like them and they're not helpful and all that stuff? It sounds like somebody where they're just living apart because of circumstances, but they're more than willing and able and excited to be back in each other's company. So look at how she's going to waffle with that, because she's waffled between, I don't want him no more, to we're waiting and we're trying our best to get him back over here. Doesn't sound like somebody who's broken up, does it? Doesn't. Not to me, at least.
You guys.
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us like since December twice or 3 times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Days to a
And then
week.
I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently?
He got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She said Sunday evening. Which one is it, guys? Because we just went over his statement yesterday and he came in Saturday. So did he come Sunday evening or did he come Saturday? And if he came Saturday, where was Stephen Stearns? Where was he? Because she's saying Sunday evening. This doesn't make sense.
And then how is his relationship?
I would say super great. He treats her as his own child. He always
Yeah.
has.
Okay.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like, he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that
Right.
stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like, I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh, okay, I
I'll
see what you're
be part of
saying.
it that way.
Yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like, you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever?
For the most part, it's the 3 of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep with you, sleep on a couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room, and me would sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone, away from me, because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the 3 of us together,
Oh, I can only imagine.
it's a king bed. But like,
Yeah.
my kid karates, like, she just,
Well, so
Yeah.
she's not a small baby anymore.
no, she's not. So it's just 3 humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often was they would go? You
3 people on a bed is not comfortable. There's no need to have had ever 3 people on a bed. She said it like it was obligatory, like she had to have them in the bed. or all or nothing. If it wasn't all three of them, then both of them had to sleep elsewhere and she got to sleep by herself. It's a king-size bed. Stern should have never been in that bed. Never, ever been in that bed with them. Never. These weirdos, man. Weirdos.
Send them off on their own.
I would say honestly somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
Okay, so this is when she talks about Stearns and Maddie sleeping together. Remember, this is the first one. Less than 5 times. Can count it on one hand. And then where do we end up, chat? We ended up with, if it was a school night, I don't know if she's going to say it in this interview, but eventually she says if it was a school night, 5 days out of the week, that child would be, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that because of YouTube. That aggrieved person would be upstairs with Stephen Stearns, sleeping in the bed with them. I don't even like that because, I mean, a grieved person, that could be like somebody got into a car accident. You want them to fix your fender. It doesn't have the power and the gravity of what exactly Maddie went through. But, you know, you can't talk like an adult on YouTube because these bots and these moderators is like, you know, look, not to go off on a tangent, guys, but if you look at my demographics, it's basically 35 and up. I have no children watching my show. 35 and up. Why can't they treat this community like an adult so that we don't have to talk all funny? Come on. Anyway, let's keep going.
I would say honestly somewhere between, I'm going to say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right? It hasn't been happening.
And this is over the course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh, okay.
So she's saying out of 7 years, this is a big, big lie. This is deception here. This is definitely a lie. She's saying out of 7 years, he has slept with Maddie less than 5 times. That means 4, 3. 4 or 3. Because if it was less than 3, then she said it happened 2 times or 1 time. Less than 5 times. 4 or 3 times, Maddie slept in the bed with Stearns. That's what she's telling us through the span of 7 years. 7 years. How do you go from that to, well, in all actuality, if it was a school night, they slept together every day of the school week. Big, big, big time deception.
When I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just
right.
And then we know that she's lying to us because she qualifies it by telling us why it was that case. Why they had only slept with each other in the same bed less than 5 times. She goes on to say she doesn't trust people, this, that, and the third. It's her rule. It's the way that she parents. It's her morality. The way she was raised. She goes into all these excuses as to why that would not have happened more than 5 times. How do you go from that to, well, it happened every day if it was a school night?
And then you said you and Stefan have been together for about 5 to 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
7 years, okay. So you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
I would say that's Stefan's.
Is that Stefan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So, you and Stefan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does this look like Stefan's penis to you?
No.
No. Okay. What about that?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
How do you not know your man's wee-wee? I'm just saying, like, we're adults. This is like 2025. There's certain things that people do, adults, when they're in relationships that are very intimate, and it's up close and personal. It's pretty much like a prerequisite if you're going to be in a relationship. How do you not know? 7 years together, how do you not know? And I'm not saying that to be salacious. This is not my intention. It's common sense. And it feeds in perfectly into this narrative that she is just a liar. And she is using as much deception as she can to throw these cops off. How do you not know? How are you relying off of the things in the background to know that that belongs to somebody that you've been intimate with for years?
We have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing stuff with oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys?
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone.
She says, okay. She has no questions at this point, at least. She says, okay, I'll give her a pass. All right, let me step outside of myself. Maybe she's in shock. Let's see how she keeps going.
And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting very sexual acts with. I wish I could tell you this was all a made-up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay?
Shock right now.
Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? Just have this one, if you want to take it. Yeah.
You're a almost 40-year-old woman. You hear this information. I guess you could be going through shock. I know most people, all of us would go through shock. But one would expect you to pull it together just a little bit to ask a little bit more questions like, wow, where is he now? I want him locked up. I want him in jail. How long did this happen? Because remember, supposedly she's not supposed to know, right? So if you really don't know, you would ask that question. How long has this been happening? How do you know this? What kind of evidence do you have? Like, these are the questions you would ask. You wouldn't just shut down and, okay. Can I get some water? Come on, man. Big shout out to Vicky Preto, 4-month member in the recruit level. We appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of the channel. And guys, we have almost 400 people watching, 211 likes. I think we could do a whole lot better than that. I think there's some people watching who's not liking the show, and I get that. And there's also a lot of people who's watching who's enjoying it and just forgetting to hit that like button. Please hit that like button so we can get into the algorithm. Let's keep going.
How are you feeling right now?
Like I can't breathe.
Now, some people do experience hypoventilation and stuff like that, shortness of breath when they're going through trauma. But normally you can see the physical ramifications of what their psychology is making them act out. Does she sound like she's hyperventilating? Does she sound like she's having trouble breathing? She's just saying things because it sounds appropriate to say. But what she's saying is not matching up with what she's physically putting out there. Let's keep going.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos in there.
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
What makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him long enough.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
So, our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stefan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I could think of where they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping to like Target before.
Okay. But anywhere else that you can think of? What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these are, and I'm not telling you.
Right, so she's telling us if there were any signs, she didn't see anything or see them. But at the same time, later on in a subsequent interview, she told us about the Woody Allen effect. She told us about the many conversations, because she said the conversation happened more than once. So the many conversations that she's had with Stefan Stearns about her fears that Maddie would grow up and run off with him in a romantic relationship and leave her. But she's telling us right now that there were no signs. Make it make sense. Big shout out to Little B, who's now a patrol member. We appreciate you. Big shout out to Mary Jo 126, who's a recruit member. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let's keep going.
Like, these aren't just Google images that we found. Like, these are actual images. And I don't want you to see images of your daughter like that. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road.
What parent would want to see that? What parent? I wouldn't want to see it. I do this stuff for a living, and I would not want to see my own progeny in that position. The police telling me that it exists is enough for me. I don't know about some of you folks. I'm not going to judge you. If you are in the camp where you want to see actual physical evidence, God bless you. That's not me. During the trial, when the prosecutor's like, at this time, we'd like to transition into state's evidence number, blah, 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 and we're going to show these pictures, I'm getting up and walking out. I don't want to see that. I'll tell the court officer, the bailiff, whoever, I'll be outside when they're done showing this aspect of the trial. Come get me and I'll come back in and support my loved one. I'm not going to stay there for that. So, I mean, literally they described to her, I mean, I want to know a description, like what is it that you have? And then when they describe that and they say, well, listen, we have what they just described, Maddie, the position Maddie was in. I would not want to see the actual visual representation of that. They described to her the position that her daughter was in, and then she subsequently went on to say, well, I want to see it. Show me the picture of my boyfriend's stuff destroying the innocence of my daughter. Show that to me. I mean, come on, man. You got to make it make sense. Hit that like button, people.
So wherever you think can be right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course. I just have no idea.
Did Stefan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida?
Newport, Florida, I'm sorry.
Alone? No.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah. Or I would drive down with and we would just hang out.
Okay. So when Stefan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house? He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that?
No, he stayed at our place.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
This morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No,
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
no, he didn't. We were in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa
Okay.
and then came back.
About how long was he gone for?
Um,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Okay, do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So look, we just need any information. Any.
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can.
Did you communicate with Stefan on the new phone with your phone? No. No?
I want you guys to also notice that she does not give any information. All information that she gives has to be solicited. So think about that when you think, because there's always going to be the Jen Soto stands who are a part of this community, period. They're going to make excuses for her. Oh, she's mentally ill. Oh, she's taking drugs. Oh, she's this, she's that. Oh, but you know, what was me? She was groomed too. She was groomed too, right? There's always going to be those folks that exist, okay? It is what it is. God bless you. But notice she does not give anything. Like, even when she gives information that's needed, it has to be taken from her. It has to be solicited. It has to be pried out of her lips. If you don't ask a question, you don't get an answer. Whether that answer is a good answer, truthful, deceptive, whatever, you gotta ask. You have to request to receive from her. She doesn't just sit there and say, hey, listen, this is what I know. This is the timetable. You know what? He kind of left last night too. I don't know. He came back and said he went to Wawa, but I'm not sure. She doesn't give anything unless you ask a specific question. Big shout out to Heather Pickett with a $4.99 super chat. She says, yes, because your grown boyfriend sleeping alone with the victim isn't a sign she knew what was going on. Big shout out to you. I agree 1,000%. I just want to bring that to you guys' attention. She doesn't give anything. You have to ask. You have to pry it from her. Let's keep going.
I just want to. I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual images of my child.
Are you sure you want to see that?
Need I add any commentary to that statement?
I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that? And as a parent, take my word of advice.
I'm pretty sure that statement shocked this detective. I don't know how long he's been doing this, but whether he's been doing it for a year or 20 years, this is probably the first time he's ever heard that request. The first time. I haven't even heard husbands ask to see images of their adult significant other being victimized. Nobody wants to see that kind of evidence. Whether it's your progeny or your partner or your friend, nobody wants to see it. The victim doesn't want to see it. The friends and relatives doesn't want to see it. The only person who wants to see it is the bad guy. The only person who wants to see it is the bad guy. That's just from my experience. I'm not saying she's a bad guy. I'm just saying from my experience, the only people who've ever wanted to see images of the crime were the bad guys. And there's a reason why we show images to the bad guys from time to time. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to give away any secrets. But only time I've ever had people want to see the images were the perpetrators of the crime.
I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images. But I know as a parent, I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth. And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stefan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture has a penis in her mouth.
Somebody said she wanted to see what evidence they have. Lily Sunshine said that. I agree with you 1,000%. Why? What is the next thing that Soto does after this interview? What do we know from following this case that Jen Soto does after she does this interview? Who does she contact after she does this interview? What does she tell that person that she contacts after she does that interview? If you're new to this case, she contacts Chris Stearns, who's the father of Stephen Stearns, and tells him, hey, the police just told me they have evidence and pictures of your son doing horrible things to Maddie. You should get him an attorney. So absolutely, it's my opinion, and obviously Lily Sunshine's opinion, that the reason why she wanted to see this evidence is not because she cared about Maddie, because she wanted to see exactly what evidence they had so she could help Stephen Stearns. Because the proof is in the pudding. Is that not what she did after she got out this interview? She went and she helped Stephen Stearns. Let's keep going.
Do you need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know, and it's unfortunate that, these are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stephen has been with him in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God.
All right, I want to pause it here real quick because I want to share something with you that rocked my socks off yesterday. I just saw the message from Aki. I saw this message and Aki saw it too, and then she screenshotted it and sent it to me. It's like, yo, you got to say something about this. So 2 seconds, we're going to get back into this. We did the show where we reported Fox 35 said that they had a new information, new statement, whatever, that Stephen Stearns said that he took Maddie to the vape shop with him. Then a lot of prominent shows, Grizzly, all these other shows said, listen, we don't believe that that's true. They gave evidence, very good convincing evidence that this might have been a mistake from Fox 35. A lot of people have reached out asking for Fox 35 to clarify and to either do a retraction or show the evidence that they have this new statement that Stephen made this statement, because he never said that in any other statement that he made that he brought Maddie to the vape shop. Viewer Marie Hallman 4221 made a very interesting comment. And I think they solved the case. They said, wasn't Maddie in the trunk when he went to the vape shop? If so, she did go with him. Think about that. Whether Stephen Stearns made that statement or not, and it was erroneously reported, it doesn't matter. Because most likely when he did go to the vape shop, Maddie was in the car with him, but she was in the trunk. That's deep, man. Big shout out to you, Marie. You solved the case. Regardless of what Fox 35 reports, what retractions or what evidence they show, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what Stephen said. Maddie was with him when he went to the vape shop. She was in the trunk. Big shout out to Generic White with a 1 gift membership for 1 lucky person. Thank you so much for that gift membership. Let's get back to this. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Food for thought. Food for thought.
If I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know
She
that.
could be.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but
Yeah.
he's here. Dude, was there any... The video footage that was caught at the church? What exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just...
Do you know much?
So she just heard all this stuff about SA. All of that. And now she's talking about the church? She's talking about the church? They just told her that this guy was destroying the innocence of this victim. And she's talking about a church now. Hey, let's change gears here. Let's go back to this church. Did you guys hear any information about the church? Because I'm hearing stuff about this church. Like, what's up with the video from the church? What? Seriously? Let's keep going.
It looked like someone around stage that walked by, but it's inconclusive whether it was or not. Right, it was too grainy, the video was not, you couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church. So the last person that saw was Stefan.
Yeah. So we want to know because
People like, what time was she seen at the parking lot or at the at the vape shop? Y'all already trying to figure it out. You guys are real true crimes. We're being esoteric, guys. We're being esoteric, all right? She really didn't solve the case. We don't know if Maddie was really in the trunk. It just was a very profound and deep statement. So you don't have to figure it out. We're being esoteric. It's not a fact that we know yet that Maddie was in the trunk when they were at the vape shop. We're being esoteric, okay? Just want to throw that out there because people in the chat are already trying to solve that part of it.
he's the last person to see her. He claims they've dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
Close to the church.
and close to the church. You know, unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up. What did after Stefan dropped her off? Did he come back home? About how long was he gone for during drop-off?
I'm gonna say from 8:30 to like 10:15 because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone to the vape shop, but I don't know if they weren't opened or not yet. So he left
Okay.
and then hung out around the house and waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
He grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point. He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but he never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home just to give the time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying that the vape shop was closed and he came back home?
I think so. Something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was.
All right, guys, I got an emergency. You guys see me, my hands flying and all that. I had some major plumbing work done in my rental property, and unfortunately, like we changed all the pipes out. One of the pipes are leaking, and there's a flood down in the basement area, and it's getting some depth. So I've got to get down to the city to go handle this. So wow, very sad, very, very annoying, okay? But that's plumbing. I have to do what I have to do. So we'll end the show here. It's 43 minutes. We're at 49 minutes into the video. I'll come back tonight or tomorrow and we'll do a part 2 and we'll get deeper into this. So I sincerely apologize, guys, but this does qualify as a very, very, very serious and probably costly and expensive whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Strategic is out of here. Peace.